Hi, I'm Brandon Lee, and thanks for joining me for my Filmmakers Vlog Part 1. In these vlogs, I'm going to take you through the making of my short film Morocco Arise, and you'll see all the adventures I had along the way. And if you haven't seen the film yet, check the description of this video for a link. And you'll also find a link for my film school Unscripted Studio if you want to learn more filmmaking from me. Alright, so let's begin the vlog. Action! My Morocco journey began in the city of Marrekech, which is the cultural hub of Morocco. The Jemaa Fna Square is alive with performers and hustlers and vendors every day, day and night. I was traveling solo, just me and my camera. And as usual, I didn't have an exact plan for what I was going to shoot or how I was going to put it all together. Because I knew that in Morocco, around every corner, there's life on the street. And what's really amazing is the Medina of Marrakech has been buzzing like this for over 900 years. A Medina is a walled city, and Medinas were intentionally built as labyrinths so that invading enemies would get lost as they tried to attack. So even today, it's extremely easy to lose your bearings as you wander around, and you should exercise caution. But if you stay sharp, there are endless treasures to discover in the maze. And speaking of treasures, I had to find out what was behind those ancient doors in the Medina. And what I discovered were several beautiful riads. A riad is a traditional type of Moroccan house with a courtyard. Many of the riads in Marrakech had been converted into hotels or restaurants. Every riad has its own style, and no two of them are exactly the same. This Riad Cle D'Or was brand new, but it still had a traditional feeling because it was made with a lot of handcrafted elements. I want to say thanks to a couple of my friends for getting me permission to shoot at these riads, Hichem and Simo. Next, we filmed at the Palais Gharnata, which was built in the 17th century, and now it's available to rent for private events. It's an incredible example of the ornate detail of Moroccan architecture, and it's all made by hand. So for this scene, we rented the whole venue, and we populated it with our friends as actors. We did about an hour and a half of setup and rehearsal, and then we started shooting. This is my favorite shot of the evening, a fluid master that I did on my gimbal. My goal was to give a sense of the entire space in a single take. I also wanted to film some of Marrakech's artisans, so I hired a guide. I filmed the metalworkers who make the famous Moroccan lamps. I also filmed the men who hand-dye wool for rugs. Then I followed them as they hung the wool out to dry in the sun. And I filmed the massive workshops of the woodworkers. It was fascinating to me to see how they took the raw materials of the earth and turned them into works of art. It got me thinking about the relationship between people and the elements, which became a major theme of the film. Then we stopped by an underground furnace where one man keeps this flame burning to provide heat for the hammams. A hammam is a traditional bathhouse. And finally, I saw a community oven, which is where a man bakes bread for an entire neighborhood. This is an ancient tradition that still continues today. Essaouira is an ancient coastal city known for its strong winds and its huge waves. We arrived in the late afternoon, and for the rest of the evening I filmed the crashing waves in slow motion. These waves collide with the shore every day with so much force, and yet the land still remains. It was for me not just an exciting experience, but a meditative one too. While we were in Essaouira, my main priority was filming Yassine Cavalier, Yassine is famous on social media for his full gallop, bareback rides on the beach. And I wanted to capture the energy and the freedom of his rides. We did 2 shoots, one at dusk for a moody twilight feeling, and then another one in the morning, going at full speed. To keep up with his horse, I filmed from a quad while Marco drove, and I filmed everything at 120 frames per second so that I could slow it down later. For me, Yassine is a symbol of the spirit of Morocco and the human spirit in general. Everybody wishes they could fly, and Yassine gets about as close to that feeling as possible. Our next stop was Ouarzazarte, where we stopped to film the famous Ait Ben Haddou, a fortified village that's been in many Hollywood movies. The first day we stopped there, it was pouring rain, which is a bit of a problem when you're trying to film a city made of dirt. And I was disappointed because we had driven a long distance to catch the sunset, and our timing was perfect, but the weather wasn't. So we waited a day and tried again. It's our second time trying to visit Ait Ben Haddou, and we just cannot get lucky with this weather. So either the sun comes out in the next 15 minutes or Ait Ben Haddou doesn't end up in the film. Then, just before sunset, the sun came out and gave us the perfect light. I started shooting immediately. And while I was filming, I saw some people down by the riverbed. So now I'm walking down there to see if I can get a shot with them. All right, my new friend.
Yo.
Tell me your name.
My name is Hisham.
Hisham.
I'm one of the local people from this village.
He took me to his secret viewpoint, a hill above the Kasbah. From there, I could see the vastness of the Moroccan landscape stretching out. It was an incredible vantage point, so thank you Hisham for showing me your side of Ait Ben Haddou. The Todra Gorge is a spectacular canyon in the eastern part of the High Atlas Mountains. We actually spent the night in the gorge at a bed and breakfast where the rooms are caves. My room was completely silent, and it's one of the best nights of sleep I've ever had. The next morning, we explored the lush valley within the gorge, where we met a tour guide along the road.
My name is Nordin. Welcome. Marhaba.
He agreed to be on camera, and he showed us that you can drink the water from the Todra River. He also took us to his garden, where he grows cabbage. Then we went for a drive through the gorge, and I stuck my 360 camera out the sunroof to film an epic hyperlapse. Thanks so much for watching part 1 of the vlog series. There's 2 more coming, so click subscribe and that notification bell so you know when I post the next one. Okay, thank you. I'll see you next time.